Hi guys, Barry here from BackPain 360. Today I wanted to talk about a really important muscle in relation to back pain, and that's iliopsoas or iliacus and psoas, which is a combined muscle that is based in our spine but also comes through our pelvis and attaches on the inside of our femur, our long bone in our leg, on both sides. It enables hip flexion, but it's also decelerating extension of the hip. So if the leg goes back too far, that psoas will kick in and make sure that it's not pulling that leg or letting that leg pull back too far. So it's a really, really important muscle. And a lot of the time, if you see people with a contracted psoas or iliopsoas muscle, you'll see they'll have this posture, this antalgic posture, where they're kind of skewed off to the side from behind. And a lot of people think maybe, it's a disc issue, or maybe there's some type of spinal deformity like a scoliosis or something. But most of the time it's not that drastic. It's just because that muscle has spasmed and shortened and tightened. So it gives you that kind of skew width kind of posture. This is because if we sit down an awful lot of the time, those muscles will contract. They'll shorten and tighten because they're not being stimulated. They're not being turned on and stretched. So a really important kind of stretch, which I'm going to show you now, is a stretch that will get into that hip flexor and also extend and rotate the spine, because the muscles love to be extended. They love to be kind of stretched and turned on through that movement. Best way we can do it is getting into the kneeling lunge posture. Okay, so you'll see a lot of people, they'll get into this lunge posture and they'll lunge forward and they'll get a nice kind of stretch through their hip, which is all, that's a really nice stretch. It works really well and you get that lovely kind of elongation through those fibres and it feels great. But if you're wanting to try and kind of hit multiple fibres or multiple parts of that iliopsoas tissue, it's really good if you start to incorporate an arm driver or arm movement, because that will elongate the fibres even further and you'll hit more of that tissue. So back into that position. So if I'm on my grid here, I can actually place my foot in different positions, but it doesn't matter at home or in your own clinics. If you're just kind of lunging forward, get into a position that you feel you're in control of the stretch, get a nice big elongation of these fibers here, it feels wonderful. And then start to bring your arms into a driving position. So if I lunge forward and rotate, I'm now stretching all the way down those fibers and automatically I can feel the increase in the stretch. I can bring the arms overhead, I can do the same, I can off stretch to the side in that frontal plane. That feels absolutely fantastic. Feel it all the way through my quad, coming up through deep into my pelvis, into that iliacus position. And also I get that elongation into the psoas part, which attaches into my spinal column. I can also extend, so I can reach up into the ceiling and really kind of feel that. You can kind of almost see it on my face as I feel that stretch coming up through the spine and then come back down. The nice thing is you can start to play around with your foot position. So rather than just hitting those three planes all the time, start to move your foot around, because we will then start to hit even more fibers, which makes the stretch even more kind of important. So you can put your foot off, say for me, I've got maybe 30 degrees here at this angle. Once again, I can go into that stretch and all the way around. I can add in the frontal plane, I can add in the sagittal plane extension stretch, I can then put the foot off to the side. Now I'm really hitting iliacus that comes through my pelvis here, lunge off to the side. You can see the distance now being kind of increased. Once again, I can rotate, I can side bend, and I can extend as well. And I can play around with that. It's really nice because I can then internally rotate the foot or the hip and then start to step out, step back, and just play around with the different angles. But see how you get on yourself. You'll find that in certain areas where you lunge forward, you might find you're particularly restricted, especially when we go off to the side. If you're short and tight in the adductors, which you can pick up in one of my other videos, the adductor and lat stretch, it's really important to keep those stretched out, because they'll actually have an influence on your hamstrings, which have an influence on your back. So you can see how they're all connected. Give it a go, see how you get on. Feel free to subscribe to my channel above and you can catch as many videos of these as you go, and hopefully I'll catch you on the next one.